always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop. Just give it up. Don't I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad. Cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad. I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop. Just give it up. Don't stop.
What up, Nine?
Trapaholics Mixtapes.
As the 9% and word would say, make a better you, a better us.
Give them what they asked for.
Who do you think you are? I'm the word. Boy, I'm the one who put in the work.
When I move, is it a quick rumble? I will never ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
What up, bro? That's the one. You see the title we looking for. But before we do that, let me get it to the chat. Let me get it to the chat. Looney Tunes, what it do, bro? Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you, man. I hope everything been good with you, bro. I ain't seen you in a minute. My brother Brian, Flat Power God. What it do, brother? What up, Nine? What it do, bro? Appreciate y'all, man. Uh, yeah, bro. We're gonna talk about black fatigue tonight. Hey, do me a favor, hit that like, man. Hit that like and if you're new, hit that subscribe. It's free to you, but it mean the world to me. And with that being said, let's get back into the convo. But yeah, we're gonna talk about black fatigue tonight. My bad. Just there we go. Trying to see the chat. But yeah, so we're gonna review a couple videos. I'm gonna play a short videos just to get some context of what black fatigue is because we're talking about how it's being hijacked right now. Just like other things that you know we created as black people, uh, it gets hijacked. People start trying to take it and redefine it, and that's part of the fatigue, right? That's literally part of it, right? So like, you can't have your own shit without somebody trying to come in and take it and make it theirs and shit. But everybody else got their own shit. We don't do that shit, bro. We go in, be respectful of people's cultures, and that's what we do, man. But everybody want to take our shit, right? Redefine it, repackage it, and try to sell it back to us, right? It's our shit. They take it, repackage it, and sell it back to us. And I ain't gonna get into none of the historical things, but we're gonna talk about something that's recently new. But this term black fatigue actually comes from a book that a black woman wrote. So the context of black fatigue, that's what I'm talking about. The ideology of it is being hijacked. Hey, each y'all. Hey, each y'all. What it do? What the business is, man? That's my co-pilot. What up, man? That's the co-pilot. From start to finish. Appreciate my sister. I know you probably supposed to be getting some sleep, but yeah. So, yeah, we go. I didn't listen to the audio book yet. I did buy it, but I didn't listen to it yet. Um, but we go watch a brief summary of that, and then we gonna hear how it was created, why it was created, what it was created for, and then we gonna see how they try to spin the shit and use it against us. It was really to bring awareness, right? It was to bring awareness because this is the thing, right? Us as individual people, we gonna have our own personal experiences, right? How we experience life, how life interacts with us. That's gonna be our own shit, right? We go on an individual level, but as a culture of people, different cultures of people, they gonna have they shared experiences, right? They gonna share experience because they within the same culture, right? So when we get things like terms like black fatigue is explaining a cultural experience. Now, people outside that culture may have similar experiences, but it ain't the same. And this is one of the huge problems that I see. And this should be is passive aggressive and is annoying. But if you can't identify it, it'll be very troublesome, right? So a lot of times when I'm talking to different people, like when I'm like if I'm talking to Tay, right? That's my people, so I try to put them up on game. That's why I talk about these behaviors, these tactics, and I see it happening. I like it. The shit is like a script to me. I didn't experience so many times, but I identified it. If you can't identify it, when your emotions are triggered, it's like a cloud. It's a cloud. Now you're running solely on pure instinct, right? And this passive aggressiveness, that's the whole point of it, right? It's to emotionally trigger. So you can't think clearly. You won't comprehend shit clearly. You just running off of impulses, right? You're very capricious. You become capricious. You become impulsive, doing things without thinking. So one of the things that people try to do, and you can put it under the category of gaslighting, right? But one of the things people try to do is tell you about your experience, right? They try to tell you how you should feel about something you experience, right? Even like think about this. When we talk about black people, even if we talk about racism, right? Black women go experience racism differently from the way black men experience. That's just reality because man experiences. If you look at the core of what racism is, discrimination differently than a woman would experience discrimination. So even looking at it from that standpoint, I can't tell a woman how she should feel or how she shouldn't feel. Just like she can't tell me how I should feel because that's my experience, right? So that's just within the culture experiencing the same thing, but it's levels to it. And who experienced worse of it or who experienced more of it, none of that shit really matters. What matters is people experiencing the shit. And if you can listen and individualize without comparing or contrasting someone else's experience to yours, you can learn from their shit. You can learn from it, right? But most people ain't programmed like that because when you're talking about stuff like this, it's emotionally charged already. The context of what we're talking about, being oppressed, that shit, you become emotionally charged already. So that's when we get to that comparing and contrast shit. I'm straight, bro. I'm here for the information of meat and potatoes, right? So that's within the group. Now imagine that shit outside the group. How the fuck you gonna tell me it ain't racism because you ain't producing? That don't mean the shit don't happen. You know, you can't tell me racism doesn't exist because you're not doing it. You know, I experienced the shit, so I know it exists. I went through the shit. Right? There's no racism in 2025. Even saying that shit is racist. Saying some shit like that is racist. But you won't perceive that unless you've been in my position. People constantly telling me how I'm supposed to feel, how I'm supposed to. Oh, you shouldn't get upset because I said that. It was a joke. Oh, I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking about the other. Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit. Like, hold on, bro. What the fuck you mean the other ones? You ain't like the other ones. You fool. You know how many times I heard that? And when people say that, I'd be like, man, shut the fuck up talking. I just said that so many times at work. I thinking I'm cool with somebody, and they get so comfortable that they say some crazy shit like that. Man, you ain't like the other. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? You know, like how that ain't because you're stereotyping, you're generalizing, and that happens to everybody. Because black people will generalize white people. You know, that shit happen to everybody. So I can't even tell a white person when a white person say they experience prejudice or I'd be like, that's their experience, man. That's they shit. Dee 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 dee. I'm not gonna sit here and compare and contrast. They have their experience with it. I got mine, right? If you want to tell me yours, I'm willing to listen. If you're willing to listen for me, to me, tell my story. I listen to your story if you're willing to listen to mine. That's how it should be. That's how it is with me. Hey, each y'all. Hey, each y'all.
How many people watching?
Not
Hey, what's up?
chilling, chilling.
What's good?
I am
Hey,
sitting here
I
chilling,
got a
relaxing, just
question. I
talking
hope
my
I
shit.
didn't.
Uh
My bad.
huh.
What?
No, you good.
I hope I
No, you
ain't
good.
interrupt.
No, you ain't in a rush.
I got a question, right? What happened if somebody of another race cut in front of you? What do you take that as?
Like,
You
what you mean, like,
standing in
cause
line. You standing in
and they
line, and they
entitlement,
huh?
entitlement. Like they feel entitled, and that can come from multiple things. That can come from a person being racist. It can come from like this is the thing. Like I think these two things get mixed up: racist and bigotry or prejudice. Racist and prejudice. Some people will say racism is the production of prejudice. Right? You prejudging somebody. When I think of racism. I think that people literally trying to oppress you, like doing some type of physical action to make sure you don't. That's how I look at racism. Now, somebody saying some shit or doing like cutting in line and shit, like I said, they can be racist. They can feel entitled, emboldened because I'm white, you black, or I'm Mexican and you Middle East, whatever the races is doing it. They feel. emboldened. They feel entitled. Like I can do this because I'm superior. That could be bigotry too, though. People think they better than people but they don't hate the people, right? That's bigotry.
They
Like
don't hate the people,
someone
but they feel like they better than them.
they superior to the people. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Like when I think of bigotry, I think of Donald Trump. I think of Donald Trump. And I think he look at even white people like he better than them, and that's from more of a status aspect. But if he can make money with you, he'll fuck with you. Racist people, they ain't fucking with you for no reason. It's like y'all enemies, bro. Ain't no middle ground with a racist person. Like I know racist people.
What about grabbing your purse when you
That
walk
that
by?
that can be bigotry. I look at
Bigotry.
that more as ignorance too, like prejudice, prejudging. To prejudge is to show a high level of ignorance. Like if to prejudge someone, just to look at someone and say they this or that without any evidence, that's prejudgment, and that's ignorance because observation shows intelligence. You sitting there observing because
So that's,
looks
do
can
you
be
live around here? Can I
you
see your ID?
all that prejudice and see it's levels to it. I mean, they can be doing that because they racist. If they like think of a cop got to interact with everybody, but the way he interacts with them will be different. So if he is racist, he still got to do his job. He still got to interact and talk, but he might do it with ill intent. But a cop can
Right.
be he can be ignorant. He can be prejudiced because he grew up around. This is why everything for me is on an individual case because someone who's prejudiced can just simply be naive or ignorant. They can be either one. There's a small difference between naive and ignorant, but they can be either one because of their upbringing. It's like I grew up. I mean, I worked with a guy who lived in Canada. He lived in a small town. So he never been around black people until he got like grown. Like he was like 24, 25. Never really been around them, interacted with until he went to college. Well, graduate school, really. Because he said even in his college in Ontario, there wasn't no black people.
Right.
Well, wherever he went to college at, there wasn't no black people. So when he came over to the D, now he around all these black people. So his only interaction with black people was through media. If it was the news or TV shows, it was through that and stories. So when he first got around me, he was like, "Oh man, this ain't." What did he say? We was hanging out. We had we had work talking, but we had a work party thing. So he's sitting around me hanging out, drinking and shit. He like, man, this is cool. He was like, this ain't nothing like the movies. And when he said that, I didn't catch on. I'm thinking he talking about just hanging out. But then like a week, 2 weeks later, we was passing out Thanksgiving dinner. And I took him in the hood. And by him being around me, he got a different perception. So he thought he abandoned his old perception and he thought all black people was like me now. Like
Yeah.
he thinking like, so he thinking like everything cool and laid back and shit like that. And a situation happened, and he was like, "Oh," and then he was like all confused and shit. And I'm like, "Bro, like, look, man, black people come just like white people, all different types. You got good ones, you got bad ones, bro. You got to read the room." But it was ignorance for him.
Right.
Well, he was naive. I say more naive because ignorance is more willful.
I feel like, what do you feel like how racism is in America? You feel like it's more like discreet and like quiet. It's like not.
Well, more sophisticated. People get more sophisticated. I mean, to me, it's like, like really, like I read people like Neely Fuller and like reading the ISIS papers. So it's like I look at it a little different than what the average person would see. I see it a little different. It's more People they more is more systematic and is more passive aggressive.
Hmm.
But people literally, is more finesse to it now.
You been
It ain't
outside
like
the country?
outside the. I mean, you go outside the country, like ain't nothing never happened to me, like personally. Nothing ever
What
happened to
about the
me.
UK? How do you feel about the racism in the UK?
I wouldn't
You
even
been to
go over
UK?
to the UK. I'm straight. Even the black people don't like black Americans over in the UK, man. I'm straight. I ain't fucking with none of them.
It's a
Even like
lot of black
well, the
people in the
ones that
UK.
it's black people in the UK. I like when I've been there in the early 2000s. Last time I've been to the UK, but it was cool then. It was laid back. It was cool. But recently, like the last year or two, all the black people I met from the UK on here, they don't even like black people, bro. So it's like
They
I'm straight.
don't. Nobody
Nah, man,
like us.
man, because man, even the black people over there. So I'm like, God, this dude told me like, oh, we 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 settled y'all. You speak in our language. Like we had to colonize y'all and y'all was savage. And I'm looking like, bro, you black as hell. What the fuck? You blacker than me. You darker than me. And you talking shit like this. Like you talk just like the what this is the difference.
They be
You
coming
can't
over here
tell
to
the motherfucker over
somebody
there.
dark like
Yeah,
us be talking like a colonizer, don't they?
and I told him that. I called him that. I called him colonizer. I was like, you talk just
Oh
like the people we
Lord.
colonized. That's why it's this clip I'm gonna play in a minute with Anton Daniels talking about black fatigue. And see, I don't, man,
Yeah, he from
like,
Nigeria or whatever. He from Africa or somewhere.
I look at it like this. He claimed he from Detroit. I don't know you.
He claimed he
Like,
from Detroit.
I
Okay, let
don't
me
know you
ask you
though.
this word. Now, now you've been here for America for a very, very long time. As you can remember when you were younger and immigrants started coming over here, when you would call them black, what would they say?
No, we African.
They
Like I had some African neighbors.
would never
I had,
say they were
look,
black,
man,
right?
look. The most beef I had on the block was with these African neighbors. Them motherfuckers was so mean, bro. Like I had a basketball rim in my backyard, and sometimes the ball would go over the fence. Man, every time the ball went over there, bro, we'd hurry up and try to get over there because if we didn't, their mama would take a knife and bust the ball and throw it back over there. I'm like, why are you busting my? Don't let it come over here. So we used to be roasting them. We started whooping their kids' ass at school because like that man, they was assholes. And they owned like four houses on the block. So they was like random and shit. They owned like four houses, but they had to move from next door to us. 'Cause it was like we kept getting into it. And I was about that action and my little sisters was too. My little sisters used to whoop their sister and their little boy brother ass. I used to kick the
Ain't
older
this
boy ass
new when you
sometimes.
hear them be like, I'm black? Ain't that
Yeah,
new?
yeah,
That's
yeah, that ain't
new.
that
They
was
never claimed
like
that.
no,
They
coming.
would say, I'm not
This is
black, I'm this. I'm not black,
this,
I'm this.
but this is why. Like, what was it? 2 years ago when I was coming on here, and I kept saying, like, man, we got to separate the black people. Like all, like that. I don't. No other group or race of people do that shit. Like we all one. No, the fuck we ain't. We ain't all one. We wasn't all one. If whatever ideology
Okay,
you
listen, they say
use
we was
for
all one at one point.
hell no. Hell
Then we
no, bro.
have tribes.
They ain't even all one now in Africa. You got Kenya, you got Ghana. Them ain't all one people. Them all different people. So how
No,
the fuck
yeah.
was we ever all one? We was always in tribes. We was
But
always in
they said
tribes.
we was never in tribes.
That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit.
And we never had our own
Even like
language.
think about like man, that shit bullshit too. We ain't speak that shit. We spoke our own shit. That's why look, man. It's a reason that we don't have a history because they had to strip that shit. They can't tell us we was already here because if they told
If
us
they
we was
tell us
already
we
here, they can't
already
tell us
here,
to
then
go.
what?
They can't tell us we gotta where the fuck we gonna go. Where we gonna go? If we was already here, how you go? Where you gonna send us back to?
They said we gotta go back to Africa.
That's what like that whole story, bro. Don't even make fucking sense. Like anybody who when you like if you emotionally charged, yeah, you would believe they done piled hundreds of motherfucking people on the slave
On a
ship,
boat and
people
shipped them way
shitting and
over here.
pissing on themselves, like it ain't no fucking disease or bacteria, and then they come over here and sell them enslaved. Half of the motherfuckers would I would say maybe 20 to 25% of the people would have made it if that shit really happened. We talk about months on the sea coming over here.
Months to get over here.
Months
And you saying they
on the sea coming
populated the
over here.
whole United States?
And they ain't got no fucking GPS or nothing like that. These motherfuckers using maps and compasses. Like
Come
I
on,
they
man.
mapping the sea and shit. Like, come on now, man. Ain't got no type of navigation system or
But
none
that's
of
what
that
they
shit.
say though. That's the history.
That's that's
You
the
can't go
stupidest shit I
against
ever heard
that.
in my life. Hey, I got a spaceship. I'm going to Mars. Give me 500. If you believe that shit,
What's
we
the
can go to
name? What's
Mars
the name of
tomorrow.
that man? Do you know the name of that man that stripped us from our tribes and started calling us Negro? And he took
Um,
and he
damn,
wiped
what
us away from our tribes because we was all put in tribes at one point. And
man?
I can't think of the white man, but he stripped us away from the tribe and put us as one. But if you do the research and look at it,
Negro and
we
color.
was
First it was
labeled. We
color.
had labels of tribes at one point.
Well, that was actually a process of that. That shit was a process. You talking
Yeah, it
about in the
took
late
time to take
1800s,
us away from
but
our
that's
tribe.
but they first start calling us colored people uh in the early 1800s. Then Negro came in the later 1800s
Then Negro.
to the early 19. So I mean, they that was the whole process. They
But
did
they
that through
just bunched us all
generations.
up together, right? And said y'all
Yeah,
won.
yeah,
Yep.
and that's why we have crazy now. Because you bunch of people together that don't supposed to go together. Like, man, I don't care what nobody say. It's been proven that animals, you have genetic memory. And you put a bunch of people together who, that's why black people clash all the time, because you got too many of the wrong people around each other, bro. That's why we broke off in tribe. That's why we've always in tribe. Different ideologies, different way. Like, you go in the hood, you see a variety of black people. You see some hard working blue collar black people. You see some
Mm-hmm.
intellectuals, some bourgeoisie. Then you see like some ghetto ass people. But when you think about the hood, people always but when it comes to black people, they always focus on the negative and never the positive.
Negative, yep. They
That's what
always
they've been
put the
trying to do, you
bad
know.
people, the ghetto people, and shine that bright and put that as that's the black community. No,
Yeah.
no, that ain't us. You
Mr.
put the
33.
10% of black people and label that and be like, oh yeah, that's us. But guess what? They forget to mention that black women are number one in education. They
And
don't
then
tend to want to show that. We out here getting degrees. We number one against everybody, every race. Why they don't put that stereotype up? I'm just
man, I was
curious.
what the fuck was that? I was watching this clip. It was a short and it was saying like melanin is
Hey
is
Gary,
literally resilience in melanin. Like melanin is encoded for resilience. Like it was the way they was well they didn't really break it down. They was just explaining like the most powerful substance on earth is melanin. And it was saying like all the different features of it. And it was saying like throughout history you see the darker the people, the more resilient they were, the more willing they were willing to fight for shit, you know. Um, I thought that shit was dope, the way they broke that down. Mr. Gary Buster Down Brown, what it do, man? What it do? Appreciate you. We either natives or from the continent of Africa. That's what I'm saying. It's something. Look, man. This is what it is. Is you unless people know their own lineage. Like I know for a fact, my people was here. We migrated from down from Florida up. That's that we migrate. That's what we did. Um, and we did that because of the pilgrims and shit.
But are you trying to say like no people came from Africa? Like none?
Oh, there's some people came from Africa. Like it, like they don't want to give. I don't, man. It's like history. Fuck history, bro. I read my own. I read books for myself. I don't let people tell me shit, bro. Because it's so much. It's so many like diaries. There's so many historical records that people like totally glaze over and omit. Like the kingdom of Mali traveled over here before the Vikings did. It's
Mm.
historically documented. That shit is historically documented. They never
The Moors
returned back
was
to
over here
Mali.
too.
The Moors
So
was over. So I mean, it's shit documented that people, you know, overlook and they don't want to give people credit to. Like, did you know it was a black
I
man who wrote the
agree.
Three Musketeers?
Huh?
Did you know it was a black man who wrote the Three Musketeers book?
No, I didn't know that.
That shit fucked me up. I was like, damn, a black man wrote that?
But I'm telling you, man, I hate to say it like we all that, but damn, everything that you can think of, we had a part in. I don't care what it is, we had some part in it. Like I was telling my
Think,
son
think,
today, huh?
I was gonna say, think about this too. Like Juneteenth. How long we been? I remember celebrating Juneteenth in the early 2000s. That's when I found out about it. And, start celebrating Juneteenth. But this shit been going on for so long, and in the last couple years, like the world got hit to it, and now is the problem.
Came
Like we
hit to
didn't ask
what?
nobody to make this a
Juneteenth?
national holiday. Yeah, that we never asked nobody to make it a national holiday. It was just something we did. But when
Yeah, for
people
sure
found out about it, now
was.
people got a problem with it. Man, we've been doing this shit for almost 100 years now.
Yeah, we've been
Juneteenth
celebrating
is
Juneteenth for
celebrated,
a long time. They
and
just made it
ain't
a
nobody
holiday.
saying nothing. Yeah, then when they made it a holiday, now everybody got a problem with it. Or why is it a holiday? It don't need to be a holiday. Look, we ain't telling y'all to celebrate shit. This is something we did.
Somebody,
This is
if
a
y'all
portion
got
of
a
black
black holiday,
fatigue.
we should have a white holiday.
Wait,
They get on my nerves with that.
President's Day? Shit.
Y'all got it, the 4th of July. Shit. What you mean?
Right.
That's y'all holiday, the 4th of July. That's y'all white
but
holiday, goddamn.
but is that's a huge portion of black fatigue. Like when we want to celebrate ourselves, when we want to beat our chest, when we want to pat our back, it's like people criticize it. That's part of
Yes,
the
we
black
can never
fatigue.
celebrate our our culture, our heritage, none of that. But guess what? When we bigged up Africa and I'm talking about we used to go hard on Africa. We used to big up Africa like it
Yeah.
wasn't. Dude, you remember when we used to big up Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Well,
we
but
bigged
I
up
used to have one of them medallions, them
dude.
hand carved medallions. Like, look, man, I spent so much money with Africans. I didn't put. I'm talking about like when they, especially when they come from like Honduras or when they come from like. I had this one root doctor who came from the Congo. He was cool. Like the older Africans was cool. It was more the like middle age
The
and the
newer.
young Africans, but the older ones was always like the OGs, the elders was always cool, and they will
Dude.
always work with you, and they would invite you into their culture. They'd teach you shit about their culture. They didn't act like
Yeah.
they was like it was
But
the
when
younger
when I
generation.
tell you we used to big up Africa and the culture and the history, I mean we used to
Wearing
big
dashikis
that
and
shit
everything.
up. Huh?
We're rocking around with dashikis and shit.
We was walking around with dashikis, medallions. We was so into Africa, bruh, at one point, and I don't think they remember that. I don't think they remember that
Man,
because they love to be like, when we celebrate our shit, they say, "Oh, you xenophobic," or "You this," or "You that," or "You hate Africa." Y'all forgot how much we be. I mean, I'm not gonna be funny. The reason why people give Africa the respect that they do because we gave it the respect first. Even the people that
Look,
lived there didn't give the respect of the history like we did.
like
We
this
drew
this is
attention to Africa.
this is my experience with like Africans, right? It was like in the early '90s. Like this is, just my experience in the early '90s. A lot of them was like cab drivers and shit like that, like But when they started becoming like
They
doctors,
became cab
then they
drivers and
start
wouldn't
sticking
give
their
us
kind of
fucking
nose up.
rides.
Yeah, then they start sticking their nose up. Like, all right, bro. Like shit. When they start like owning shit and doing big shit, then they was like, "Fuck y'all." And the whole time, it's like, damn, y'all come over here and y'all did everything everybody else did. To people coming to our neighborhoods, take the money out, send it back to their neighborhood. They would never come in our neighborhoods to try to help us build it up. They come in
Mm.
and kind of
They act
deconstruct
like
that shit because
colonizers.
you can't even hire people to work so the money like this is how communities work, right? People like I got people like the dude who owned the corner store, right? Everybody who worked in that store on the corner live in this neighborhood, right? They own some shit in this neighborhood. They live in it. So they make money from the people in the neighborhood, but they constantly putting back because they renting shit and buying shit. They go to the grocery store. That's how like communities grow when the money fluctuate throughout the community. When you start taking that shit out the community and ain't nothing coming back in, that's when you start saying the shit become dilapidated. Dilapidated. I can't even say the word, but that's when the shit start breaking down because
Mm.
there's no circulation of money.
Mhm.
That's what made Black Wall Street so
Popular.
prominent. The money was circulating with within the community.
Yep.
But everybody do that shit. The Asians do it, the Middle Easterns do it, the Africans
Mhm.
do it, the white people do it. They go into these impoverished areas. They be uh the homeowners. The people who live in the hood don't own shit in the hood. That's one problem. When you don't own shit,
Mhm.
you tend not to take care of it. You're only there for a little bit of time. So what the fuck you gonna take care of it for? That's one problem. Second problem is the people in the community that don't own shit, they have no vested interest in it. It's not theirs. So even though you live there, you just there until somebody kick your ass out. Really, that's all it really is. That's why people complaining about gentrification. Like y'all ain't own the shit anyway. They just moving into their own shit. They always owned this shit. They just let y'all rent. Now they kicking y'all out and moving in their own shit. That's all they do.
Yep.
That's
That's
all they
it.
doing.
They want certain people that look like them moving around them. That's it.
That's all they doing. So like when I hear like black people say we gotta own shit, I be on that shit. Like yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you gotta own your own shit. And not only do you gotta own your own shit, but if you're in a community, you want that money to circulate within that community.
I didn't know Mansa Musa had left some people here on the continent.
His brother, that's how he became the king. His brother was the king and traveled over here and never returned. And then that's what made him king.
Mm.
His brother went on a voyage. That's why you see them damn Olmec heads. That's why you
Oh,
see
his
all that
brother
shit
did
on there.
all that. Oh, his brother?
I ain't gonna say his brother did all that, but I'm just saying.
Like his brother
'Cause that
got
shit
it
older.
got it
That shit
popping over
older.
here
I
like
mean,
that.
yeah, that shit older than the Mali Empire. From Olmec is that shit way older than the Mali Empire.
Mm.
And they got that shit carbon dated older than the Mali Empire.
What up, Commander?
What up, Nine? The Minister, the General of Defense, the lady of the Nine. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. What up, Commander? Oh shit, let me play. I just want to play a little summary real quick.
Yeah,
So
let's take
I
a
have
look at
pulled
that.
up. Man, I got this shit fine. Man. Hold on.
Black
Hey, shout out to this channel too. I ain't even
Mary Frances
go
Winters,
to it.
Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit.
So off of the top right
Black
now.
Fatigue delves into
Off of the top. Now let me give you a little context. This is before this lady wrote this book. Wasn't nobody saying no black fatigue. So the term came from this book. So just from the beginning, it's talking about how racism erodes the mind, body, and soul, and it fatigues you. That's what the book is about. So the context of the term black fatigue is the what how people are affected by racism, right? That's what the term means.
the history of white supremacist and racist systems and their impact on generations of Black people, eroding their mind, body, and spirit. Addressing racism on interpersonal, institutional, and structural levels, the book highlights the necessity for white people to actively oppose racism and advocate for systemic change. Get ready to explore the multiple dimensions of racial dynamics and the effects on Black people's mental health, socioeconomic well-being, and community experiences. You will also learn about the importance of intersectionality and the various ways one can champion anti-racism and function as a catalyst for meaningful societal transformation.
Black fatigue and white responsibility. Black fatigue is the result of centuries of oppression experienced by Black people. The collective trauma and continued racism contribute to this condition. Black fatigue explores the history and impact of white supremacist systems and the effects on both Black people and society. The racism experienced on multiple levels must be fought with systematic changes to prioritize diversity and inclusion. White people must take responsibility to become anti-racists. Understanding racism and white privilege. The 2020 Black Lives Matter protests saw a lot of white people claiming ignorance about how everyday racism affects Black people. The author argues that white people must recognize and stop denying their white privilege. More so, they need to understand which behaviors imply a belief in white supremacy. It is not enough to not be racist.
Let me say something about this too, because they use the term white privilege, and we had Chris on the panel last night, and he was sharing his experience, like why he get upset when people say, white privilege, because him as a white guy have no fucking privilege. He's saying shit. He broke her. He broke. You know, he he shared his experience, right? Like how he fucked up, and I think privilege is a strong word because unless you in a certain class, you don't really experience white privilege, but you do get white benefit of the doubt, right? No matter what class you in, you have white benefit of the doubt. So even like just delineating more and to further conversation, I like to use the term benefit of the doubt instead of privilege, unless we're talking about a class of people, because all white people don't have fucking privilege. Some of them broke. You see them on a corner struggling and shit like that. But what they do is get the benefit of the doubt, because when you see a poor white person next to a poor black person, you see the poor black person, you'd be like, well, shit, he probably did something. You see the poor white person, you say, oh shit, they probably just down on their luck. It's the way you view shit. So that's just benefit of the doubt. That's just like if you see a black man walking down the street with a hood on, and then you see a white man walking down the street with a hood on, you're gonna be more wary of the black man. Motherfuckers gonna be watching a black dude. That's why I was saying if Trayvon Martin was white, he would have been alive today. But I think that's I don't think we got to play more of that. They gave enough context to what black fatigue is, right? I think that gave what you think. You think that gave enough context of why it was why that term was even created. It's, yeah, taste all. White allowance and that privilege. You're just trying to find another word. I feel the best, like just my opinion. I think the best terminology would be benefit of the doubt. I think that'd be the best terminology to not deny anyone their own personal experience. I think that's fair, because like when you have a conversation, I think it should be about fairness. And when you take your emotions out, you can get to that level of fairness because I may feel some type of way, but logically thinking, like really analyzing on an individual basis, all white people ain't got privilege, right? And to say that you can't further the conversation,
All white
you will
people
be
don't
stuck on
have
that point.
privilege.
No,
Is that what you
all
said?
white people don't got privilege. How do you define? Now, see, we have to
Okay,
do.
well
How
let's
do you
just let's
define
say
privilege?
this. Privilege as in they can kill somebody, a black person, and not see them prison walls.
But why don't they get that? Why don't white people get longer
They
prison
can
sentences than
kill
black people?
somebody with impunity.
Because
That's a
like when you
privilege.
really when you look at it, it's because they get the benefit of the doubt. If you want
Right.
to like, you would have to look at it on an individual basis because not all white people got acquitted or got let off. It's usually the ones with money or some type of status.
The only way they no, what you call him was piss poor. What's his name? Zimmerman. Zimmerman
Yeah,
didn't have
it's
no
just
money. He was poor, and a lot of them be poor, and they know that they can be poor and then become famous for doing stuff like that. And they
they
don't be
become
having any money. The only way
and
they
that was
get
that
locked up, majority
and
of the
that
time, the reason why they get locked up is because we march and we tell stuff, and then that's when they want to put them in jail. But if we don't say nothing and we be quiet, then they'll stay out.
I see we ain't quiet people. We don't never be quiet. Anytime shit like that happen, since I've been alive and looked through history, like since we had freedom, nah. Ever since civil rights movement, you do something crazy like that, oh we gonna be out there talking shit.
But
But that's
like,
the warrior spirit. That's our warrior. It's just we found a different way to fight instead of physically. I mean, like you say, tear shit, and that to me, like from like data and information I looked at, like even from especially like Detroit shit, like when what's his name? Uh, damn, why did I forget the dude's name? The guy that put his neck on, who had his neck, the cop put his knee on his neck. Why is his name slipping my mouth? Um, what's the guy name who got his uh who the cop put his knee on his neck?
look at my George Floyd.
Yeah, George Floyd. Like when that broke out and we had protests in Detroit and they was fucking shit up. Majority of the people that got arrested was white people from the suburbs.
Yeah,
Majority of the people
shaving.
who got arrested was white people from the suburbs.
Yeah, but they ain't even have the officers arrested at first. And you say we always uh get out of character and I don't think we always do that because like, old girl that got shot in her house, that black lady, when she called for help and the officer shot her. We got upset, we got angry, but we didn't get angry like George Floyd angry.
No, I don't think we get out of character.
Well,
No, I'm
I don't
saying
mean to
we.
say out of character, but I forgot what you
No,
said.
people be pissed. No, people be pissed, and like me personally, I don't believe in protesting. I'm not screaming or asking for a goddamn thing. I believe in boycotting. I believe in hitting their pockets. That's what I believe in. All that protest, that shit is set up to me. That shit is a setup. I understand it, but I'm built for different things. Everybody built for something different. I ain't built to go out there and protest. I ain't built for it. I'm built to. I like strategical shit where I can actually hurt you because that shit you put me in a position where you can fuck me up. These motherfuckers got guns and rifles and all that shit, and I'm supposed to be out there with a sign. You got me fucked up. I'm gonna be out that bitch, bulletproof vest and everything. I go out there. I ain't going out there. Nah, I'm being honest with you. If you ever see me in a protest, I'm strapped. You got me fucked up. And I'm ready for war. Other than that, I'm not going out there. You throwing smoke bombs and shit. I'm supposed to take that shit. Hell no. You start shooting rubber book. Nah, bro. We ain't going for none of that. If you can send something at me, I can send something at you. That's just how I live. So that's why I don't put myself in certain positions because it ain't gonna be no good outcome. I ain't built for that shit. It's like built for war. If we're gonna do it, let's do it the right way. I mean, fuck, we going out there unarmed, so and then everybody else armed. No, you got me fucked up. You got me all the way fucked up. Hell no, I ain't doing this. So if we gonna do it, we gotta do it right. So we gotta be ready. I mean, that's just how I look at it. So I rather boycott. I rather hit the pocket. You know, I definitely boycott. I'm down for that. I ain't been a target. I ain't been a target in shit. And ever since they started taking shit off shelves, we only really fuck with Costco when it comes to like the big chain. Because I think where it said warrior spirit and that. But yeah, I was saying warrior spirit. Like, I mean, when shit like that pop off, people gonna be they mad, but you out there and yeah. And it ain't like it's too easy for some shit to go down. It's too easy. Too easy for some shit to go down. But hold on, I want to play this one for y'all too. 'Cause this shit, I was listening to this. I ain't even fully listened to the content. It's a YouTube short. But I ain't fully listened to the context of what he said. But this is why I don't fuck with Ford old boy. I don't fuck with Anton Day. Like I used to like look, man, some people will say some good shit sometimes, but if most of what they come out of their mouth is shit, and I'm straight. Man, what? Oh,
It was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do makes sense. A 5-year-old is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this, because Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs every single day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. But for the love of God, please leave the children out of it. Adults are stupid. They're going to do stupid things. But you're a different level of stupid when you bring kids into it. Thanks for coming to my TED.
So basically, what this woman is saying is that two things could be true at the same time. And I said this the other day when this whole situation first broke out, and then we had the panel on Monday night. where I basically said that white people are starting to get fed up, and that is the whole premise behind Black fatigue, is that nobody wants you to continue to play victim for the rest of your life. They tired of being held accountable for things that their ancestors did. They tired of you blaming all of your failures and the things that you weren't able to accomplish on white people. They're tired of you sitting there saying that you're a victim every single day, regardless of what your circumstance is, regardless of what you've been given, regardless of all of the affirmative action, regardless of the fact that you're saying that you're the most educated, but really you're the most enrolled. They tired of you blaming your debt on the system. They tired of you saying that white men are the problem. They tired of you asking for programs, and they're tired of being held accountable for the decisions that you're making every single day.
She'll be watching her back for the rest of her life. Yeah, because that's not thuggery, hoodrattery, animalistic. This is why people have Black fatigue. When you act like this, it's not normal behavior. People do stupid stuff. People say stupid stuff. That's life. It's not normal to threaten to unalive people because you don't like what they're doing. But here we are. People are getting sick and tired of opening up TikTok and seeing brawls on cruise ships.
This is the issue. One of the biggest issues I have, and I be wanting to talk to people like this because I be wanting to say, why do you look at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to black people and judge the whole group? But when it comes to, if you go in a trailer park, you know what you gonna see? Some trailer park shit. You go back in the Hicks and the hillbilly woods, you know what you gonna see? Some hillbilly shit. That's what you gonna see. You go in the hood, the ghetto, you know what you gonna see? You gonna see some ghetto shit. But you acting like that's the only place black people are in ghetto. You acting like those if those are the only type of black people you experience, then you need to question where the fuck you at. You need to question where you at. If you're not around sophisticated black people, then you need to question why you around these people. That's your problem. That's your experience. But then you even got black people doing that shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you ain't from the D. If you look, I made it out the mud. I made it from the back hill out the street to the burbs now. You don't hear me talking down to black people because I experienced that shit. It's a climb. I'm one of the ones who made it out that shit that don't shit on the people who still in it. I don't shit on them because I know the struggle. I know how hard it is. I know the sacrifices and the investments you got to make. And you not only got to go against people that look like you got to go against everybody else too. Because for some reason, like me, this is my personal experience, right? As a black man, no matter who was around me, anytime I tried to elevate, they felt like I was taking their spot. Like, no, I'm just trying to get in position to live good. I ain't trying to take shit from nobody. I'm just trying to eat mine. I'm just trying to get mine. That's it. But I was always a threat. Everywhere I went, selling real estate, selling life insurance. I'm looking like when you make it up. When I made it out the hood, right? I'm thinking like, damn, it's over with. I ain't got no ops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got nobody trying to take me out. They just did it in a more sophisticated way in the business world. Cause it's like, I'm like, God damn, I thought we were supposed to be working together. You put me on a team with a dude who's supposed to be training me and they sabotaging me because they see my potential. They literally sabotage me. And then you get another black person in here. It's like, we I'm not trying to be the token black person. I'm just trying to make some money and go home, bro. That's it. I ain't trying to be the favorite in the office. I'm good. But it was the black people that was more standoffish. But then it was the other people who was like doing the sneaky shit. But the black people was just standing firm, like fuck you. So it's like, God damn, I done made it out the hood dealing with this shit. Now I got to deal with this shit in the suit. But they always use the bottom of the barrel for examples and shit. That's what kind of is dishonest.
Brawls in the airport, like literally the most ghetto behavior. We're tired. We're tired of it. But then whining and complaining and acting like it's not your fault that you act that way. Yeah.
And so that comment proved her right. And for whatever reason, y'all think that the white people don't have eyes, that people that are not black don't have eyes and they can't see how ghetto a lot of this is. And then I have to pay for it because I got to go outside and then account for what you did. People are tired.
I gotta account for what you did. I ain't account for shit nobody else do. I'm good. Like you the spokesman for black people or some shit. Like, bro, you weird. That dude is weird as fuck. He's like, oh goddamn movie. All right. Yeah, man, success will make you a target, bro. I mean, I ain't gonna argue with you on that. That shit put a big ass bullseye on your back. That's why I learned how to be incognito. Like, I'm straight, bro. You get that shit from everywhere. Left, right, up, and down. You gotta be more incognito. And that's sad to me because even your own people, man. But yo, man, that shit deeper than rap. We'll talk about that too, because like you look at that dude, he melanated. You be like, oh yeah. Then you start listening to him, like, bro, what the fuck you talking about? Like, what the fuck is you talking about? You pandering and shit. Like, I'm straight. Even if, like, man, look, look, man, this type of cat I am. This is how I came up to. Even when your people wrong, bro, you talk to them in the back. You don't put them on blast, man. So I see some black people doing some shit wrong, and it's like, all right, we'll talk about that later. That's all other races, man. You don't see no Jewish people coming on here bashing Jewish people. You don't see no Asian people coming on here bashing Asian people. You don't see no shit like that, bro. That's how you know they got pride, bro. We'll talk to you in the back. They kick your ass out before they disown your ass before they start talking shit. Yeah, man. And see, that's like I don't know that cat, bro. He could be coming on here putting on the show, bro. That's what a lot of people do. They don't live or they don't really believe the shit they be saying online, bro. They be characters. This is a show for 'em. They putting on the show. So I mean, I don't know that I don't know him enough, but from the content, bro, I'd be like, man, I can't take that dude serious. And people do. People be taking that dude serious and say there's a lot of cats on the internet, bro. I'd be like, man, y'all motherfuckers ain't real, bro. That shit, and people don't see through that shit. Like they ain't living like everybody was all shocked when Derrick Jackson when his shit got exposed. Like, bro, what did you think, bro? This motherfucker was telling you about himself. You couldn't figure that out. The first time I heard him, I'm looking like, oh nah, bro. You on some other shit. Like just be real with shit, bro. Just be real. But that's the reality. A lot of these people real fake, bro. Most of these people are arrogant and people mistake arrogance for confidence. Like the shit I say and the shit I live, bro. I'm really the way I am. If anything, I tell y'all what I'm putting on the show when I be overly nice and polite. I'm being honest with you in real life. I'm not a nice or polite person. I'm just not. You do some ignorant, say some ignorant shit. I'm gonna let you know you did. That's how I am in real life. Here is like a business. So I'd be more understanding, more, you know what I'm saying, more laid back. But in real life, man, I wouldn't. I don't. When I say I don't take people serious, people that been talking to me, and I look at them in the face and walk away. My wife's like, "You an asshole." I don't want to hear that shit. Well, you gonna make me listen to some shit? I dare you. Try me. if you that, if you gonna have to paralyze my ass to make me listen to some shit I don't want to listen to. I ain't met a person who can make me do that shit yet. If I don't want to hear it, I'm gonna walk away. I ain't being rude. I just don't want to hear that shit. But yeah, you still there, Tank? I see all these little stickers everywhere. Full sleep. Stay sleep, y'all. Stay sleep, y'all. Every time, yeah, man. I don't, like I said, I don't know that cat like that. He could, all this could be an act for him, you know? I be listening to a lot of these dudes. Like, what's that no fugazi dude? He talking about, what did he say? Single moms are recreational use only. But then he done wiped up a single mom, taking care of some white kids, and had a baby by her, like not married. Like, hold on, bro. Is she recreational? Oh no, she's you know, an exception to the rule is what he said. Oh, so what you did is an exception to the rule, but everybody else fall into this category. Like, man, go sit your ass down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere. But that's what people want. People want to be entertained. Those people are entertaining. You know, people are. I mean, you want to be entertained? Go watch some entertaining things. You know, people put on shows and stuff. But when we talking about real shit, reality, bro, the truth is ugly sometimes. And to really look at that shit, really look at that shit, bro. It's hard. It can be difficult, and I know it because I've been through that process. And then I got to the point, like I'm to the point now where I accept shit for what it is. And some things it's just better to know and understand it exists to try to define it or try to put it in a category. 'Cause, I mean, it ain't no, ain't that shit lame. Push it down, Brian.
What up, though?
You three brothers. What up, though?
Mic check, mic check. All right, I hear me. Um, what was it? Oh, I don't think you saw my question. My question was, do you think the Willie Lynch letter? You remember that letter, right? Is that a
Hmm.
systematic attack? Is that a part of racism? How would you classify that?
Oh man, that's structure, bro. That's structure. That's like some MLK alter shit, bro. That's structure of how to systematically break down a culture of people. And that shit work.
Right, and
That shit
that's why
fucking
I asked the
work, bro.
question. You know, it's a can't. Well, it's racist. Most people will consider that racist because of who wrote the letter. I'm saying it's systemic because of how it attacks the system of unity within the people. It separates them so much that it's still in effect today. That's why I asked the question.
And, and see, you know what? And this is my thing, bro. That letter been out for a while. You know, people got access to it. They can look at it and read it. And when I looked at it, I understood it and I learned from it. And I did a reflection, looked at myself like, damn, do I exhibit any of these attributes in this letter? You know, and the ones that I did, I corrected it. So if anything, like I said, it's structured. It is systematic. But I
Hmm.
mean, if you fall for it, then that's your fucking fault, bro. Like any of this shit, that's how I look at it, bro. I'm being honest with you, bro. Any of this shit, because there's so much information out there, bro. Like it's so much information. Like you can look at the ISIS papers, like that book Black Fatigue. That's like a modern day ISIS paper. That's like updating Neely Fuller's work. That book is, bro. It's telling you how learned behavior through generational learned behavior, people call it generational curses, how it affects you. And it is a mental effect. And all black people
Hmm.
ain't gonna suffer from it. Right? All black people ain't gonna suffer from it because they gonna have an environment that's enriched and they're not being subjugated to those things. Right? So so black people won't, but there are groups of black people who will. And when you see it or identify, it, you can't deny that experience because it exists. So, like, I don't suffer from it, but I know people in my family that does, and I can help them.
Right.
instead of denying the experience because I'm not experiencing. And that's the problem that I have. Even when people say there's no racism, like because you're not producing it or because you don't experience, don't mean the shit don't exist. Man. It don't exist to you, but there is other people experiencing the shit. And if it makes you uncomfortable to talk about it, that's fine. But don't deny people the experience it. That's a big pet peeve of mine. Like denying
Mm.
people that no matter who the person is, I don't care what culture, what race, what belief, I don't deny anyone their own personal experience because if I do, I can't learn from it. I can't learn from it.
I don't know how you could take. I don't know how you could take from someone's experience anyhow. That's their experience. If you don't have it, that's something different. It's like telling somebody that their truth isn't theirs. It's their truth. It's their experience. It's what they went through to go through a thing. How could you take that from somebody that had to go through that? You know what I mean? Like I never understood that either. You can't tell those people that was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they did not experience that situation. How could you tell them that? They was there. They seen it. They seen what happened. They seen the town get destroyed. How could you take that from somebody? It's crazy how we as a society. Well, I'm saying that we as a society now, but you know what I mean. How people could just run and just try to smear everything that happened and then say, well, that's not the reason why it happened. This is what we read what happened. But how do you take that experience from that young man that was there that was 100 years old and telling the story, or that woman that's 100 years old telling the story how she saw it, she was there, she witnessed everything. How do you do that? That's bonkers.
But that's what people do, bro. Like this whole black fatigue shit. Like the way they try to twist it and like, bro, that ain't even what like when I first started hearing people like white people say I got black fatigue, I'm like, and I listened to what they were saying, I'm looking like, and then like a lot of y'all probably don't even live around black people and be around black people. Y'all stop searching the shit on the internet. Stop looking for the shit on the internet. That's all you got to do. Leticia, what it do? What the business is,
Hey,
sis?
what's going on? Well, how could you be tired of something you don't know nothing about? That's another thing. Like how? How do you
Yeah,
get tired
man.
of that?
It's like you ain't even experiencing this shit, bro. Like you ain't even you tired of looking at the shit on the internet. Stop looking on the fucking internet. Then if I go look up trailer park shit, I'm gonna go find some trailer park shit. Whatever you seek, you shall find, bro. That's what it is. So if you tired of seeing ghetto black people, stop looking at the shit, bro. That's all you gotta do. You ain't experiencing
And
that
that
shit in
damn
real life.
And that damn word ghetto, that ain't even ours. That was them. That was them in the slums in the early 20th century, living off the goddamn cobblestone and streets and shit. That's where that term comes from. They just gave that to us because they found a way to get up out of there, and they was pushing all of the people to the quote unquote suburbs, and then we came in and they just left it there. That's why they're the ghetto because the black people didn't know. The white people were in the ghettos first.
Mm-hmm. We ain't gonna
But they
talk
don't want
about
to
the
have that
project.
conversation.
That's on
Right.
project.
that
That shit
that was
was an
for them too.
actual project, bro. And this is
That was for
where the
them
black
too.
fatigue come from, bro. All this shit, the Tuskegee experiments and shit. That's where black fatigue come from, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The crack epidemic. Like, shit, we ain't had no coca leaves over here. How the fuck this shit get in the hood, bro? How this shit get in the hood? We all brought it. It was brought there.
Shit,
It was. Come
who
on,
the hell
man,
to
bro.
say the CIA
That's what
ain't put a
we
chemist in the
talking about.
hood and tell them how to make crack? We don't know none of this. Y'all don't know what
Right.
the hell going on. Y'all just keep going. We just keep going by what we see and what we hear. You got to go through the experience. Like, damn, I ain't never seen that white dude in the hood. Yeah, he probably taught you how to cook crack. that's how, that's how
That's right.
that's how they be putting this shit together. Like, where's this white dude come? I lived in this town all of my life. I ain't never seen a white dude over here. He lived where? Nah, hell no. Some black people live there. Well, he was a chemist. They put the chemist in the
Right.
hood. I said, go ahead, add this up, add one and one with another one, and that's gonna be your crack. Watch they come back and get you.
It's it.
Sure enough, that shit
You know
spread
what,
like
man?
wild.
But you know what, man? I'm happy people learn from their mistakes because that meth shit was supposed to do the same thing crack was supposed to do. When they start making that meth, they try to push that shit in the hood. Black people are like, man, we ain't doing that shit, bro. We good. You done learn. We done learn from this, right? Shit, we ain't creating all that crazy shit. Motherfuckers putting lithium batteries. Well, go smoke a lithium battery. Taking strips out of batteries. It sounds crazy. Man. Thought about making some shit
Yeah,
like
but then they ain't talking about racism. But
that.
you put cocaine in the you put cocaine in the burb, you get a little slap on the wrist. But you put some crack in the hood, you getting twice or three times the charge as the time as a cocaine dealer. Okay, I don't know how that
They
works. So
they knocking people over the head for weed, bro. That's why you had to put them cracking there. Put some weed in the other people house.
all
They
right,
knocking
you
people
putting people under jail for marijuana. Let's declassify this. All right, well, okay, let's see how that works. Now they got fentanyl and all this other stuff. They still got. They ain't changed the crack law yet.
Hmm.
Crack almost dead. They still ain't gonna change that shit. That shit gonna be there forever. They need that new servitude. It's called prison. That's why they changed the law. All right, we gonna lock y'all up. Y'all gotta still work for us for free. How? Go to prison. There you go.
That's why I was telling Tay the Texas just get more sophisticated. That's what.
Tell somebody you
And
can
this
see if you can invest in the prison system. Watch how private that shit is. Why is that? Who got that under lock and
why
key?
shit, that's why they try to keep
Y'all,
you emotionally charged, man. So you more
right?
impulsive. You be in a more reactive mode versus a reaction. I mean, a response mode.
Yeah, you more hearing them than listening. Because you hear to respond, you listen to understand. So if you ain't catching that, then I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all gotta be careful. Y'all just gotta figure out. We gotta figure out how not to fall under the trap. The first question is
I figured out.
how could we not use them and use what we got around us? Are we gonna break that cycle? You see what I'm saying? Like we gotta figure out a way to break
Man,
that
you can't.
cycle.
We got to figure out. I mean, the whole system, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, man, you gotta put yourself in position, bro, to be a boss, not an employee. That's what you gotta do,
That's
bro.
the thing.
Put yourself in the position to be the boss and not the employee, bro. You might have to be the employee to learn how to be a boss, but you gotta go through that process. That's a process, man. You know what I'm saying?
If
But
if
that's
you
what you.
if you yeah, I agree with that because if you understand, you put yourself employee is a temporary stop. Then you gotta build yourself up and then say, you know what, I gotta be the boss. That's why I don't knock the person that's sitting there. Watch, they're gonna start putting taxes on people who's selling water in the middle of the road. Watch. They do anything to stop for hustle. They do anything to stop for
Hey,
flow.
man.
Why? Because it's not theirs to control. Right? I've been telling people if you get a vendor's license and you go to one of those big stores, Costco's, uh, 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 Sam's Club, whatever, get them bottles of water. You charge $1, you pay $5 for the bottle of water. That's a nice come up, right? But if they ain't getting, they want that license. You got to pay for the license. You know what I mean? Things like that. So they. I don't know. You got to make small steps in order to get to the bigger ones. You got to get the balance in order to make the small steps. You got to stand before you can walk. You crawl in the
Man,
beginning to get the strength to stand up.
man, when I first came on here, bro, I was saying I want to build. Y'all ain't hear me say that shit in a while because I realized like to either come together, the individual. have to be set up for that. They had to be built, and most people are selfish ass people. Bro. They only look at things from a soul game, and they won't like. Shout out to Leticia. That's the first person I heard say we live in a microwave society, and I was like, I like that shit because that's what it is. Everybody wants the results fast, so people just look at situations like even on here as content creators, like people look at situation. What can I get out of it? Right now. They don't look at it from the long game. Like if I fuck with this person, then we doing this and doing that. Yeah, he might get on first, but when they get on, then I get on. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at shit, bro. From the long game.
Right.
What can I invest today to reap tomorrow? What seeds can I plant today to harvest tomorrow? I don't look at no instant plant. What's that shit? Chia. Nah, I ain't looking at no shit like that. I'm looking at it might like you put a seed in the ground to grow a fruit tree, bro. It might take a couple years before it bear fruit, bro. But when it bear fruit, then you fruitful. You know what I'm saying? But it might take a couple years versus getting a plant, growing some fruit, and then you got fruit tomorrow. But a month after that, you got fucking cancer because you done ate this genetically modified fruit, and this shit had all types of shit in it to make it grow fast. And now, you know what I'm saying? Versus having
Yeah.
some rich
And
nutrient fruit,
having
I gotta wait for.
right. And you ain't gotta eat the seed. Just take the seed out of that fruit and grow some more. But they don't even understand
Right.
that. It's a cycle. You recycle. You can recycle things. You can recycle that seed and allow it to develop. And all you gotta do is be patient, make sure it gets enough water, put it in the right position for the sun to hit it, and watch it grow. So now instead of one, you might get five, and five might get you to 10, so on and so forth. But because people can't sit still. Patience ain't a virtue with everybody. So that's the results. When you don't have that patience, you ready to get up and get out of there. You ready to quit. But we say winners don't quit and quitters don't win. So you gotta sit still, stay for the long haul.
And people ain't, but everybody wants to quit fast and in a hurry. Like the world ending tomorrow. Shit end tomorrow, so fucking what? But it's putting that
But look,
work in.
but look how long it took for them to get that first thing in the first place. Well, how you think it's going to develop faster than how you got it? Where you do that at?
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I
what we
mean?
in.
People are
And that's,
crazy.
and that's what I'm saying. Like technology done dummy people now. We getting way off subject, but
No, because I swear
back to
I
shit.
was gonna bring it back because of because I was gonna talk about the Bolton situation, right? When y'all was talking about how
Uh-huh.
everybody got over here, right? I
Oh
put
yeah.
this in the comments too. I said, wait a minute. Okay, so if they ain't had no power boats, right? This is like all off the wind, right? So
Mhm.
how the hell long do you think it took for them to get from there to there in the first place? You think it was
It
a
took a couple
week?
months,
No,
bro.
you got.
Yeah.
I know. What about the hurricanes?
Bro,
There was no
man, look,
hurricanes back then.
if you watch Roots or Homicide, bro, and you see how they try to depict that shit, these motherfuckers piled on it, they twisting and shitting on each other, people sick as fuck, and then you get some sick ass people, you go sell them as slaves, and they about to go work in the field, like that shit don't even make sense. And this is cargo, bro. This is something you selling, so you will want like once you get the product here, right? Wouldn't you want that shit in shape and able to sell to be, you know what I'm saying? So you would be feeding people, you'd be taking care of the cargo, bro. Man,
The
the
legs
whole
locked
way,
up.
none of that shit made sense. Right, bro. Motherfuckers get over here be frail as hell, bro. Like, damn, it came straight from Ethiopia, huh? Like, god damn, bro. How you feed people like that? Like, they ain't had no
Yeah,
weed back then, bro. Like, yeah, something shit.
Then did they have, well, like, what was they feed them? Did they have enough food for all these people? Like, okay, so they come out all slim and trying to get top
And
dollar for what? A toothpick? How you do that?
and the first time I heard like when I think I'm like, bro, hundreds of people on the bottom of a boat, bro. All the time. I'm like, how did they get? Oh, they just stacked them up. And I'm like, they did that shit for 3 months. I'm a kid. Like that shit don't make sense. None of that shit makes sense as a kid. So I'm looking like, nah. And then I asked my aunt. She was like, my aunt told me she was like, the very first slaves were taken was Native Americans taken from over here over into England, and they were selling them to Africa. But they were natives from here, taken over there.
Damn, they recycled the Indians.
And I'm
Wow.
like, what? And as I got older, I started, researching like, God damn, like that shit crazy as hell. They got manifestos where they was
Mm-hmm.
bringing and they wasn't bringing hundreds. They was bringing like 4 or 5 of them. I think the most I ever
Mm-hmm.
seen at one time they transported was like 10.
Maybe 10. Yeah,
And
because
that
they
shit
they
made
that
sense.
got stuff.
That shit makes sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That shit makes sense. You bring in 5, 6 people over here at a time, 2 or 3. Yeah, that shit you can feed them. They got space up. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit makes sense. Was they treated
Make sure
well?
they ate,
Probably
they
not.
healthy. Right. No, they ate and
Yeah, but
they was healthy enough to be sold there.
to be sold, right, right, to be sold. Like man, you bring in like bro, that's like come on now, man. Anybody who can
But that's
think
not.
logical, they would say that shit don't make sense. Like because even the infection rate, like people catching diseases and shit, if in that tight quarter, if one person catch it, everybody go get that shit unless they get some type of immunity to it. And now you
No, they
bringing this
didn't.
product over here, selling these sick ass people to do labor, like that shit don't even make sense. Man.
Yeah,
Like
because
oh,
even if you
so
think
how
about the
long?
science
So
behind it,
So
go
so
ahead.
once they get over here, you're gonna start giving them penicillin and shit. So you get a slave, and now you gotta treat the slave. You got a sick ass slave. Now you gotta treat it and shit before we get, so it can do the work. It's like, come on now, man.
And then you make the sick. You make the sick so you can have more sick kids. That don't that's not logical.
And then there's
How you
another
gonna make
thing, bro.
somebody that's
Like
that's that's sick?
it was like probably like 2 or 3 years. I was hitting all these museums and shit, and my mentor at the time, I was learning like comedic science. And he was like, every time you go to a museum, ask them from an artifact from a slave ship. I went to like 12 different museums, the Smithsonian, all that shit, bro. No one had an actual artifact from a slave ship. Everything was a replica. No one can show me an art. And I'm like, hold on, bro. How the fuck y'all got dinosaur bones, but y'all ain't got a fucking slave ship? This shit just happened like 60, 70 years ago. Well, I'm not gonna say 60, 70 years ago, but this was more modern time than a fucking dinosaur bone, bro. You telling me you got
Yeah,
shit carbon dated
where's the last
three,
ship
three,
that they
four
got?
thousand?
They know the they know the last they know the name of the last ship. Where's that ship? Right? It's
Bro.
like y'all
Listen, you
have
know
to
what they
make it
tell
make
you?
sense.
You know what they tell you? They all like during the abolition, they sunk all the slave ships. They sunk them. I'm
Okay.
like, bro, we've been going down in the water getting shit from the Titanic. Why you ain't got an artifact? Somebody should have pulled one of them bitches up or something. Like, look, we got a slave ship. Y'all talking about y'all found the fucking Noah's Ark. Y'all claiming y'all found that shit, but you can't find a slave ship? Get out of here, bro.
It's
Fuck you gonna
somewhere in the
find Noah's
Caribbean.
Ark and you can't find a
It's somewhere in the
Yeah,
Gulf
man.
of Mexico. It has to be there.
And then they tell you
And that's what I'm saying.
they converted the ship. Well, even if they converted the ships, then we still should have the ships then, right? Like man, it was so I got so
Yeah.
many different like reasons why they can't produce an
They saved
artifact
that
from
ship
the ship.
in they saved that ship from Pearl Harbor. Why they can't do that? And that was what, 80 years ago.
Bro, they come up with
So
so
how
much
you
bullshit. That's why they do, bro. And that's why I be like, man, you talk that shit to somebody who care about your credentials, but I don't give a fuck about none of your credentials. I don't care how long you went to school. A fact is a fact, and the fact is you can't show me shit. So fuck out of here. That's what the fact is. You can't show me nothing. So I don't believe. Nah, that shit sound like a fairy tale. I believe in Peter Pan more than I believe in that slave trade shit.
I don't believe in Peter Pan. What you believe about Peter Pan?
That shit more realistic to me. Mhm. Mhm. I
Not the
believe
reason they got,
Tinkerbell
but
was
that's what
all
I'm
that
saying.
night.
They just crazy with it.
Yeah,
They
I
tripping with
believe
all this
Tinkerbell come on
nonsense.
night and be sprinkling dust on your ass. I believe in Tinkerbell
Yeah,
before I believe in that shit. The
yeah.
transatlantic slave
Tinkerbell had that duster right. She
trade.
had some duster
They're gonna
right.
need dust on you. Right.
Right. Put you out. But isn't that
Mm-hmm.
funny though? That's what I'm saying. It's just dangerous. The black fatigue. What are they trying to say? They tired of us? Well, go somewhere. Go sit your ass down somewhere. Leave us alone. We ain't bothering you. Leave us alone. If we
Well,
try to do something constructive and work together, don't come over there and bother us. Don't come blow up the town. Don't come blow up the buildings. Don't come do none of that. Let them people be.
but you know what?
It-
You know what, man? I be watching shit like that, and I be like, I don't know, bro. I don't be knowing those like people like those white people. Bro. The white people I know, they say they know if they say some dumb shit, they gonna get busted in their motherfucking mouth. So I don't know no white people like that. Who that goddamn saying all that crazy shit. Like, they be on the internet doing that shit. Then they be crying, I got fired from my job. You stupid ass shit, I got fired. Your
but if
pappy and your
somebody else do
nanny,
that, they going to
they
jail
only said
for
this
it.
shit. Yeah, your pappy and
That
your nanny used to say that shit in the house. And you say that shit outside. Yo, ignorant ass saying
mm,
that shit on the internet. That ain't private. That shit ain't
yeah, that
private,
shit.
bro.
That's look. It's federal. That should be a whole crime. That also leads me to the allowance and the privilege and all that. You you say there's no privilege. I'll go with that because classism a new form of racism or is it a disguise for racism? What do you think?
Racism is a buffer for classism. You need
Mm,
racism because if you don't, then people will attack classism. And it's easier to distract people with racism so they won't focus on classism. I look, man, look, if you really look at it, most of the racist people, they poor anyway. Either they mentally poor, they intellectually poor, or they financially poor. Most racist people.
mm.
And people who got money, they class because like look at like I was saying, I don't think Donald Trump racist. I think he a bigot, but he definitely ain't racist. He'd make money with black people. Racist people ain't gonna fuck with black people for no reason. What's wrong? Okay, I'm about to go. You gotta go to school tomorrow. You look crazy. Why you looking at me crazy as hell? You look like your mama. Huh? Your head hurting? You gotta go to school tomorrow. You got a couple days off after that though.
TGIF. One more day.
Curious about the word stereo. It's cause they were alien beings from the heaven. No boats, no spaceships. Look, you talk about my theory on how black people got to the continent of America. A majority of us was already here, and then later on, the other ones immigrated here.
Yeah,
Yeah, majority.
absolutely.
They reclassified us as Negroes and
Hmm.
colored.
That's why there's
It was a
$5 Indians.
reclassification, and that's historical. That I mean that's something you can see in history. They
Yeah.
reclassified.
They got the $5, $10 Indian, all that.
$2.
And all that is there. Lone
Yeah,
Ranger was black.
$2 to $10. Yeah.
Two
Ten
dollars,
dollars.
$5, $10. Yeah, yeah. People they talking about you need 1% blood, and then when the person of color got that 1%, y'all try to find something else to keep them out of there. So it's always going to be a uphill battle. It's always going to be a fight
Oh,
to get to claim what's yours.
no.
Malcolm told
You
y'all
know back
you land
then,
they Plymouth Rock landed on us. That's what he
yeah.
said. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
We ain't landed on Planet Rock. Planet Rock landed on that.
hmm Yeah, we was here when it formed.
Oh yeah,
We
take
was
this
here
motherfucker
for
out.
that.
He done woke up. You done take him out. Get him up out of here. He ain't following the program. We got a program.
hmm
He ain't following it.
hmm
That's what they get Kirk out of there. So you don't want to follow the program? See ya.
And that's the
What you
thing.
want
And
to
they
do?
like that's why it's you ain't
Yeah, man, I ain't
following
about to keep talking about
the
this shit with
system.
y'all, bro. I ain't trying to. Yeah, fuck that, bro. I'm straight. We gonna talk about something else. I ain't trying to get,
I'm with it.
I ain't trying to get Captain Kirk.
Nah, I ain't trying to do that either.
Yeah,
But
I go
we
JFK
was
my
talking
ass,
about
bro.
going
That's
with the
why I don't
system.
fuck
You
with him.
you see what you think about Crawford's decision,
Who?
Terrence Crawford to
Oh,
retire.
I don't blame him, bro. They ain't got nothing else to prove.
Mm.
Who he go that's on his
Nah,
caliber now? And they don't want to get
I
like
have no
that shit
idea.
crazy. You want to get Canelo. Like Canelo ain't did nothing in the last 7, 8 years. Worse what they was paying him. You know, he was having average fights, man. You expected him to win, but he wasn't even getting knockouts. Then now Crawford beat him, but you still willing to pay this man a hundred mil, 150 mil, 200 mil to fight, and you don't want to pay Crawford 100. And he been putting in work. His man to beat
But
Earl
even that is
Spence.
systemic.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
like within what a 5 year span, he done beat Earl Spence, he done
roundabout.
beat uh Porter, and he beat Canelo. Like, come on now, man. Pay that man. That man proved to
Then
you
you
that
got
he won a career.
then you got
Ever.
those token people like Oscar De La Hoya. Oh well, he doesn't do this and that.
Man,
Oscar De La Hoya, you need to
I
go
say
sit your ass
always been
down because you already know what it is.
I ain't
Y'all
never
trying to
like
put the
Oscar
system
De La
against
Hoya.
him. Y'all counting that man's pocket. Stop counting his pocket, and that's what I'm saying. Even when you look at the topic, right? It's like okay, y'all tired of what? What y'all tired of? People coming in and using their gifts to be talented, and then y'all try to find a way to manipulate and hold the person down. Y'all been doing this all your freaking lives. It don't matter.
That's like
You don't.
that's like me and my
That
I, w- I was talking to my dad about Shador Sanders, and they was trying to crucify him when he said, um, you know, I'm gonna come in and change the franchise, and I'm like, he's a fucking quarterback, bro. That's what quarterbacks do. They change franchises, right? Well, if
that's what
he's
you would want.
cocky, that's not cockiness. He's going off of what he did. He's not cocky. Like, he ain't cocky. He's confident. He ain't saying what he can't do. He said everything that he did do, everything he been doing. That's confidence, man. But when a black
That's
man
his
is confident,
experience.
yeah, bro. Like he went and changed. Dude, he changed when he went into the motherfucking Jackson State. He changed.
Mhm.
He went to Colorado. He changed it, and now he coming to the
He
This is
improved.
what he been
He
doing.
improved everything he did. Yeah, he improved everywhere he went. But y'all found something to negate his truth and turn it into an arrogant situation. That was dirty. That's what like I said. I promise you, we're gonna stay on topic. All of these things is showing. Hey, y'all really tired of us being confident. You got black fatigue of people being confident in their abilities. You get black fatigue about people being able to do what they say they can do with their experience behind it. So you try to find the littlest nonsense to come and take it, knock it down, and destroy it. What's the reason though? That
That's
that
the
that
fatigue. That's the fatigue in itself. It's like we can
right.
see somebody else be confident, but if we be confident, then it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if Trump, like think about this. Realist one is in the building. What it do, my guy?
Realist,
The
what up
realist one
though?
is in the building. Appreciate you. Saint is in the building. What up, nine? Appreciate
Stoic,
you.
what's happening,
Appreciate
man? You been MIA. You alright? Been MIA out down yonder. You good? Ain't nobody try to take you to the Sydney Opera House, did they? Now,
that.
if you go back
That's
and
like
let's look at that.
that's like this. Like when like they I remember they used to say try not to be threatening, right? So what's me trying not to be threatening? Me smiling and shit. You want me to smile and be all, uppity and shit like that. That's not me, man. I walk around being stoic like. But if a white person do it, then it's fine. It's okay. But if a black person do it, then it's like, oh my God, look, I feel threatened. And it's like, if I walk with my head up, my chest out, with my confidence, then it's a bad thing. That's part of the black fatigue. It's like that young man, Shador, couldn't be confident. They wanted him to be humble. Like, why can't I be confident? That's why Dion was prime time. He was like, look, fuck y'all. I know I'm the greatest. And I'm going to tell you. I'm gonna back up everything. That was confidence, bro. That wasn't showboating.
And then they try to criticize his character, right? But he
Yeah.
ain't in the front of the quarterback room. Right? I was waiting for them to say he got enough money to where they don't care. You know how I know they wasn't going to do that? Because they would have to compare him to Johnny Manziel. They would have to compare him to Zach Wilson. All of these quarterbacks that came in with money already, they don't have that hunger, that desire. But now you see Shador with a hunger and a desire to show that I belong here. Y'all try to find any little thing to destroy his confidence. That's the difference. Y'all put him as a fifth round draft pick, even though he y'all made him be drafted fifth round, even though everybody had him as the second best quarterback coming out of the college division. But y'all had 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks come out before him. That's why they love Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart wasn't supposed to be drafted before Shador, and look at him now. He's being concussed all over the place. Now they try to tell him he got to slide and do a. I ain't doing none of that. Now, what if Shador would have said that? That's the white
Mhm.
fatigue we have. That's the white fatigue that we have for a long period of time because we always have to go through that. We always have to combat. We always got to deal with that nonsense. Well, he's a running quarterback. Okay, so what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna compare him to who? Cam Newton, Michael Vick, Robert Griffin III? That's not who he is. If y'all want a stand up quarterback, y'all go find a pocket quarterback. But now these dudes, they trying to get the agilities. You are born with the agility. You are born with the gift. You are born with the talent. You don't have it. You don't have it. You could try to learn it, but it ain't gonna make you run a 4.2. It's not gonna make you run a 4.4. That thing is given to you in birth, and a lot of them don't have it. So that's where the black fatigue comes in again. Man, we can't match up with them in this sport. We can't match up with them in the higher learning department. We gotta find the dumb ones. We gotta attack the dumb ones. Oh, I hate saying dumb. The ones that don't have that elevated intelligence. We gotta find them, attack them. We gotta find that poor person and see how they just want to live in the projects all their life and drive Mercedes Benz and all of that other stuff instead of investing money. What about those people that are investing money? Where they at? You don't show them.
Mhm.
Y'all don't show those people that come out of the projects and be successful without playing a sport. Y'all don't have those conversations. That's where the black fatigue should be at. We tired of y'all showing the worst of us. Show the best of us. Even if you can't find the intermediate situations, find the ones that's coming out. Talk about that football player who retired and became a farmer. and wants to help people with his product of whatever he's growing. Y'all don't talk about that. Y'all don't talk about none of that stuff. Y'all wait for a person to die and then say, "Well, shout out to this dude. He was a great whatever." Like, come on, y'all try to find the worst. We just happen to be the people that could make the best out of a bad situation, and they have a problem with that as well.
They do. But man, let me put this old man to sleep. He came in
Alrighty.
late on next to
Yeah, he
me.
said we wait for daddy. We gonna have a weekend.
He just think, all right, go ahead and go to bed. I'm gonna sit down. No,
Alrighty.
two. No, wait down. I'll be in there in a minute. It'll be cheap. It
All right, y'all.
was
All
my
right,
little
Tay.
Mac, bro.
Good night.
Good night.
They just woke up like, what up, though? All right, now.
No, I had to know, bro. You stupid.
Like, what up? Like, what up, guy? All right, man.
You
I'm
ain't
with y'all.
shit,
Yeah,
word.
I was here. I was here. Yeah, I heard everything y'all said.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm surprised you thought, man, I thought I wasn't on mute the whole time. I was on mute. Man, I was talking to y'all.
Shut up.
And that Gary, she came back with one of them 1-800 voices from back in the 90s. All right, y'all. That quiet storm voice. That's how I know your ass was asleep.
I was listening. I was listening to y'all. I'm glad Gary got on though. He kind of took over for me because hey, I got tired. No, I can't stay up late no more like that.
No, but man, I've been since I ain't been on here, man. I've been going to sleep, waking up early. I was like, damn, I should start doing shows at like 7, 8 o'clock. They do a
Mm,
show like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, but shit, everybody probably be asleep then still. So it wouldn't matter.
you should try it and see how it work out.
The morning show, wake up with the word. Motherfuckers go right back to sleep listening to my ass talk for an hour.
Did you? You can't stream over there on TikTok too, right? No.
Yeah, I think because I put my account under a business account, so I think I can stream over there. It's just I gotta get the I think I just gotta get the with the RM something. Well, I just gotta get the R. I can go straight live off TikTok too. I just never tried it. I got to see how the setup is.
Yeah.
I was on TikTok like 3 days ago. Man, this lady was cussing me out. She was getting mad at him. Like you ever talk to somebody and get mad at you because you ain't getting mad at them? I'm like, I mean, this lady, she just cussing me out, and I'm looking like, man, that's why you single, bro. Ain't no dude about to deal with this shit, man. Hey, I'm just being honest with you. Like, you don't even know me, bro. And the first thing you do is assume. I'm like, that shows lack of intelligence.
You told her
Why
that?
just know your? Yeah, like, bro, that's just lack of intelligence. Like, I mean, you assume something because they was talking about like interracial dating, and they were saying how black men who date or marry outside their race hate black women, and I'm like, that's not always true. But I'm not gonna say it's not true because it exists. I've seen some ignorant asshole, but not everyone. No, all y'all like that. And I'm like, no. I'm like, bro, my mama black, my sister's black. Well, no, I know your type. You say that, you say one thing, but I bet you be talking to your white wife or whatever she is and be talking about black women. I'd be like, no, I don't. So I'm gonna talk like, no, I don't do that. And I'm like, you're assuming instead of listening to me, you're telling me. And I'm like, that just shows you. I understand you experience some shit and you probably emotionally triggered because maybe your dude left you for a white girl or something, and you feel
Uh,
some way. But that's not everybody, bro. And I'm like, and she was like, I've been on this planet for 50 years. And I'm like, so why your ass still single, bro? Acting like, don't no man want to deal with this type of energy from no woman. They just not gonna do it. You're not. And you 50 years old, you ain't figured that shit out yet. That's not my fault. I'm trying to help you. And she was getting mad as hell. You ignorant, you This is what I'm talking about. The young generation don't respect the older. Like, bro, you ain't doing nothing respectable for me to respect. So, and I'm calm and cool, and she got mad and just kicked me out. And I'm like, I'm not cussing at you and call me all types of names and weak N words and all this. Like, bro, like you think you gonna talk to a man like that and he gonna respect that shit? Nah, bro. We having a conversation. All I'm saying is not all men who date outside their and you just snapped on me. Like, and I'm still not getting mad. I'm talking to you like this. Not calling you out your name, ain't call you no B, no H, nothing like that. But I'm stating facts. Yeah, she got pissed off. I
Where
wasn't even
you
laughing.
scared he
I
left?
wanted to laugh. I wanted to laugh at her, but I was like, if I laugh, she gonna get even madder. I wasn't trying to get her mad. I was actually trying to have a conversation with her.
Oh, you been on here almost 2 hours. What
Yeah.
up, Willis?
The realest one is in the building.
All
Y'all
right, well, I'm
TikTok geek.
out. Y'all have a good one.
I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you. Man,
For sure.
TikTok,
If
wow.
you hit it tomorrow, let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna
What
try to get on tomorrow. I might be putting my daughter bed together tomorrow.
what you say? TikTok, wow.
Yeah, man, TikTok, wow, dude. That shit, wow, man. I went on this one panel. They was talking about relationships. I'm like, oh yeah, and I didn't. I just scrolled through, heard it, and I was like, I'll jump on here. I want to talk about relationships because I'm Coach D on TikTok. So if y'all want to find me over there, I'm Coach D. But I get on the panel. They like, what's your pronouns? I'm like, fuck is you
Pronoun.
talking? I'm like,
The
huh?
fuck?
I'm like, they was like, oh,
You
and then one
weird.
dude was like, he an old head. So I'm like, yeah, man, I'm old. Bro. Yeah, pronouns. I'm like, I don't know about all that, bro. But yeah, they called me Coach D, and they was like, no, we need. How old are you? I'm like, I'm 41. You don't know what a pronoun is? Man, look, bro, I don't really be interacting with people like that, know all this new lingo and all that. I talk to people my age. I never heard nobody my age ask me a pronoun, bro. And they was like, "Are you male or
Right.
female?" Yeah. What do they say? Do you identify? What do you identify as? I'm like, me. Like, what the fuck you mean with identify? Like, what's on my ID? Like, what the fuck is you talking about? Man, it took me a minute. And I'm like, bro, and I was kind of
You
buzzing
really
too. I ain't
didn't
gonna
know you really was lost.
Yeah, bro, I was buzzing too. I'm like, what the fuck is it? I want to talk about relationships. But then it was like a transgender on there, and they got even madder. Like, how you gonna be upset at my ignorance, bro? It's just me being naive. I ain't trying to make fun of nobody. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Well, you're just doing that to troll, to be an asshole. Like, no, bro. I don't. You talk about what I identify as. I identify as me. I'm a male. I mean, I don't like when people say that. I be kind of careful because I don't identify as black. I don't say I'm black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I say I'm a divine being having a human experience. I'm not defined by a social construct. That if you personally ask me, I don't identify as no social construct. I am what I am. I am just like the Bible says, I am what I am. I am what my mom and my father created. Now, to have a conversation, I would say identify as a black male. And that's what I say. Oh, you're trolling now. How the fuck am I trolling? I'm telling you my perspective, bro. Just like you think you a fucking girl when you was born a boy. I'm not taking that from you, bro. If that's what you want to think, then that's what you want to think. So if you allowed to think like that, why can't I think the way I want to think? I don't want to be defined by none of that shit. But for conversational purposes, yeah, okay. So yeah, that was a whole debacle. I was on that panel for about 10 minutes before I can even have a conversation. They kicked me off. I get kicked off a lot on TikTok. I ain't gonna I this should be funny. They be like, oh, we get him. He trolling. Like, say everybody trolling because they don't agree. There's a lot of echo chambers on TikTok. That's probably like one of the biggest differences. Like on YouTube, people they'll argue with you for a while, or they'll go back and forth with you for a minute. On TikTok, man, if you ain't part of that echo chamber, they get you out of it.
Damn. But if you get on there, let me know.
All right, I'll send you
This
the
dude
link.
say
And next
you
time I
and
go
you.
on TikTok, I'll send
Huh?
you a link. Next time I
Alright.
go on TikTok, I'll send you the link to it.
Uh-huh. Later, I see y'all.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man. But let me get off here. I'm gonna try to pop up tomorrow. Pronoun fatigue, right? I am like God. I am what I am, bro. That's what I am, man. I am what I am. I'm what my father and my mother created, bro. That's what I am. But let me get my butt off here. Y'all know what I always say. Care about how you feel. These are the conversations that create nations. And if I say anything that resonated with you, do me a favor, hit that share button. Tell somebody to tell somebody. Help you spread the word, man. But until next time, we out. Hey, if I missed anybody in the chat, I apologize. I was going back and forth, and I really wasn't look. I was looking at my phone, but I'd be missing some people viewing the other stream on my phone. So if I missed you, I apologize. But yeah, we out, man. That's all I got.
And do it for the nine.
What up, Nine?
Acknowledge me!